Once again, we have a starter book mystery which sounds so awesome, I wish it was its own book. The Hardys infiltrate a teenage biker gang when Chet blows their cover. The gang ties them up to church bells, then sets the church on fire. The Hardys escape by swinging on the burning ropes with impossibly good timing.
Argo Funk Book Review, Argo Funk Book Review.
Frank and Joe get a letter which says they won a free vacation. Frank thinks it's junk mail until he sees the phone number is 1-800-CALL-ATAC. Unless I'm mistaken, this is the first time the Hardys have contacted ATAC by phone. It works so well, I don't know why they can't use phones all the time. It's a much better idea than communicating via junk mail. Their mission is in St. John, one of the U.S. Virgin Islands. There's an international playboy named Esteban Calderon, whose father is a big-time ambassador. Esteban disappeared 9 days ago, a possible kidnapping. ATAC wants the Hardys to investigate because they're teenagers, so they can get into the same place as Esteban did. As we later find out, Esteban is 21 and went to several bars. So it's actually a terrible idea to ask teenagers to investigate these spots. Luckily for the Hardys, no bartenders ask to see their IDs. They stop for smoothies. Frank figures Smoothie Guy is a suspect. He gets a suspect profile and is never mentioned again. Great detective work, Frank. Frank bumps into a gorgeous redhead named Jenna. Jenna flirts with Frank, who gets so tongue-tied he forgets his own name. Joe gives Frank a lot of grief over his crush on Jenna, but Joe thinks Frank has the right idea. They should flirt with all the bikini babes on the island. One of them is bound to know Esteban. Yeah, nice try, Joe. You just want to flirt with hot girls and pretend it's detective work. Frank tries questioning a hotel bartender about the kidnapping. The bartender refuses to talk about it. He pressures Frank to shut up and leave immediately. Frank makes a suspect profile for the bartender and doesn't do any follow-up investigation. Frank is a terrible detective. Jenna invites Frank to talk with her on the hotel's roof. Romance time! She says he's sweet and she kisses him on the cheek. Frank is so shocked he cannot move. Jenna leans close to Frank and plays with his hair. He knows he should kiss her, but he's too shy, so he keeps asking her about Esteban, even though Jenna clearly doesn't want to talk about it. Jenna breaks down and confesses she saw two thugs visit Esteban the night he disappeared. The next day she got a threatening phone call ordering her to keep her mouth shut. She didn't tell the police or the FBI about this, but Frank is hot, so she has no trouble telling him. She smiles at Frank and kisses him on the cheek a lot. Frank sure is lucky in love. He's not lucky with the rest of his life, because when he goes back to his room, it's been ransacked. Joe learns a sunken pirate ship was recently discovered in the area. He arranges to take an illegal diving trip there with a wannabe pirate named Captain. The sunken ship is pretty cool. They find chests full of gold, as well as Esteban's medallion. Captain is working with the culprits. He abandons the Hardys to be eaten by sharks. They climb onto a buoy for safety and wait for hours until they get picked up by a passing boat. The culprits leave a ransom note in the Hardys' room, and I would like to point out that the culprits' plan makes no sense. The plan is, kill the Hardy Boys, then give the Hardy Boys a ransom note. Why would you leave a ransom note for someone after you leave them for dead? Dead people can't deliver ransom notes. The Hardys deliver the ransom. Both Dad and the ransom note order Frank and Joe to leave on the 8 o'clock ferry. Joe doesn't like that idea, so he sets his backpack on fire as a distraction. When no one's looking, he and Frank swim back on shore. They see the bartender collect the ransom. He gets into a car with the two thugs and says they're going to the mill. Thank you for loudly revealing where your secret hideout is. The Hardys go there on scooters. Captain shows up in a car and runs them off the road. They fall off a cliff, and unlike most Hardy Boys books, they are legitimately hurt. Like, Frank is so badly injured, he needs stitches. But of course he's not so badly injured, he can't keep going for another 40 pages. They climb up the cliff and walk on foot. There's an odd moment where they spend 2 pages at a touristy spot. Joe notes the different kinds of trees that are native to the region, while Frank checks out petroglyphs in a waterfall. Hey guys, you're about to capture the culprits here. Maybe you could check out the scenery later? At the culprit's hideout, the Hardys are shocked to discover Esteban is the culprit. He kidnapped himself in order to rob the sunken ship. I don't see the connection between those two things. He probably could have robbed the sunken ship without pretending to be kidnapped. Besides, the fake kidnapping brought a lot of international attention to the area. Isn't that the exact opposite of what the culprit should want? Jenna is secretly Esteban's girlfriend. She flirted with Frank on Esteban's orders. Frank knows she wasn't entirely faking her affection for him, so he plays on her feelings, begging her to let them go. She's so upset she starts crying. Esteban gets jealous of Frank, so he swings a lantern at Frank full force, knocking him out. While this was dramatic, I was disappointed that it all happens during a Joe chapter. Why didn't Frank narrate this chapter? It seems only natural that Frank should narrate when he is pleading for his life with his love interest. Captain mutinies and steals control of the illegal operation. This pushes Jenna over the edge, and she secretly gives Frank a key. The Hardys are put into a ball and chain, then thrown into the ocean. Frank uses Jenna's key to free their feet. Joe frees their hands with the razor in his belt. This annoyed me. Joe pulls a razor from out of nowhere and claims he had it the entire book. It was never mentioned earlier, even though he was in multiple situations where a razor would have been useful. The series pulled the same Deus Ex Machina trick in Super Mystery 1, but at least in that book, they put a reference to Joe's blade in the first chapter, so it doesn't come completely out of nowhere. The Hardys are 12 miles from shore, they swim for hours and almost get eaten by sharks again. They are rescued by a random fisherman and return home. Disappointingly, we don't learn what happens to the culprits. Someone promises to tell the police about them, and that's it. That's all the resolution we get to the mystery. What a letdown. The end. Post-book follow-up. This book is okay. I think I pointed out the big problems, which are the Hardys not investigating suspects, Joe's magical razor, Frank not narrating the Frank-focused chapter, and no resolution to the mystery. I would also suggest improving the scene where Esteban is revealed as the culprit. Problem 1 is that Jenna calls him baby twice before the revelation. That spoils the surprise. Problem 2 is the logistics. There's no reason for Esteban to hide from all the other culprits when the ransom's being delivered, except for trying to surprise the readers. I'm not a fan of Joe's casual sexism in this book. It seems true to life. I knew guys in high school who talked about girls that way. I still don't like it. This book has a bit more exposition than normal. Frank says outright, he's the smart one, and Joe likes saying one-liners. Overall, I enjoyed the book. It has good ideas. It's the Hardy Boys going up against pirates, and the romance drama was great. But there were many problems, mostly with the execution of the mystery. Fix those, and then it would be a good mystery book, but as it is, it's a below-average mystery book. I give Hardy Boys Undercover Brothers number 12, Trouble in Paradise, a 4 out of 10.